I'm Rosie Piper, and this is the world's worst podcast.
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
Honk.
Honk, honk.
Honk, honk, honk.
All right. What's your favorite animal that goes honk?
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, is it basically just the goose and the ibis?
Or the duck?
Probably the goose.
Famously goes
Come on, Hastings.
All right, look.
You can't.
Can we? We're under 20 seconds in. We can still restart.
Just like, oh, what's your favorite animal that goes honk? Oh, probably the cow. Like, what fucking children's storybook level of fuck up are you becoming now?
Have you seen Hastings in a few months?
I don't know, man.
I'm thriving, dude.
Yeah, okay, good.
I'm thriving, dude. I'm at my peak performance. I'm kind of like an athlete on his way into the Olympic Games. You know, I've been spending years leading up to this moment.
Yeah, and now you're insanely nervous and surrounded by the elite of your group.
Yeah. I'll just let you have that one. Yeah. Whatever. I'm a nice guy. I deserve to be treated with respect.
He can't say it.
I don't even believe it. There's no conviction in my voice.
Damn, you're so loud today. I mean, like, you know, in my headphones.
Yeah.
And as per usual.
Yeah.
Big achievements all around. I finished my 13th game since the pandemic started today.
Okay.
What was it?
Trails of Cold Steel. It's a Japanese RPG.
Hell yeah.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. And it's part of a series of 4. So now I have another 300 hours of games worth to play.
Because I quit gaming. Hey, this is Tom. I quit gaming back in like February or so. Last
You can't be doing
February.
that.
Yeah, I have come crawling back.
Can't be doing that right now, dude.
Like I am. Yeah, it is humiliating how much I have come crawling back to gaming.
Well, I mean, I've always...
You're basically a professional truck driver now. That's my understanding.
Well, I'm basically a professional sub, I would say. I let the Twitch chat just kick the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But, I basically am gaming to the exclusion of all else.
Yeah.
Personal, recreation, and professional.
But I mean, like that's the... I've always considered myself a gamer and like never quit or anything, but because time and comedy and like work gets away with you, I think I'd finished like 3 games in the 2019. Like even reviewing games, I'd like play them for 4 hours and be like, I think I can suss this out. Yeah. And then as soon as it was like inside, I was like, fuck. All right, I'll do it. The Witcher 3, here we go.
Oh my god!
And then it was that followed by like I've probably played like 500-hour games now because I've got like Red Dead, Final Fantasy Remake, Witcher, Outer Worlds, and now this game. It's a lot.
That's almost 500 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
There was a point in April where I was playing so much Stardew Valley every day that like... Keep in mind, my marriage and relationship has been, the entire time, it's been me doing comedy 6 nights a week and dating other people on top of that.
Yeah.
And it's the only time in my entire relationship where she was like, Andrew, you need to refocus. Like, you need to...
That's so funny that you finally found a point while being like... Because your entire life is you being 3 terrible boyfriends at once.
Yeah.
Like, you're devoted to comedy and also every other woman in your life.
Absolutely.
Stardew is the...
Yeah, and
Stardew fucked me up, man.
Stardew was the one where Yvette just had to be like, dude, this is actually fucked.
I was staying up till 6 a.m. playing Stardew Valley. That was like I can't go back.
Also guilty.
I was writing a to-do list every night before bed of things to do the next day, waking up, like setting an alarm in the pandemic, waking up the next day playing for 12 hours and then being like, I guess I'll have dinner.
It's one of those things I can put it down for 6 months and then I'm just like, maybe 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden I've been playing it for 3 weeks straight. And I'm like, got to get that pig. Got to get it.
Yeah.
How about you, Rosie? Have you fell into any games?
I mean, like when lockdown was on, I went and bought one of those little Sega Mega Drive things. But then I just ended up playing...
Rose, your microphone isn't working.
Yeah, right.
Wait, Rose, yours isn't?
Like, wait, what?
Your microphone's not working, Rose.
Oh, no.
Luckily, Rose didn't speak much during that because it was all about video games.
Yeah,
So
I
we
had
got
nothing
we
to
got
say.
we got
Hey,
really
Rose
lucky.
is on the podcast now.
Yeah. Jamie, do you want to cop to what you just did?
I've Hastings was so loud in my headphones, so I kept turning him down, not realizing that I'd basically turned Rose down to zero.
Silencing a transformer.
While being like,
Yes.
why won't Hastings shut up?
Yeah. Let's just lower the Rose in the mix, huh?
Yeah,
I
I'm
need
all
less
about
Rose in my headphones.
amplifying men's voices.
Yes. Finally.
It's our
Finally,
time.
you guys have hit upon the the key to success, which is minimizing the single trans woman and becoming another three guys talking about
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. The only part that fans recognize about our podcast that is good is that there's a trans person on there stopping us from doing this occasion.
Yeah, right.
and we're like, let's just turn that right down. Let's talk about Stardew Valley for an hour.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
man.
What is Columns, Rose? That was the game you were talking about that you've been playing a bunch of.
Well, I haven't for ages, but because we're allowed outside now. But it's like Tetris, but you played a lot.
Yeah, it's
of it. How
Tetris for the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh.
Yeah,
And what are you doing outside?
like
What's that
walking
like?
around and stuff.
Yeah?
Been doing some gigs. Did a pretty good gig on the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course, the
Bondi
Opera House
Bowling
gig.
Club?
Oh, Waverley's had you back, have they?
Yeah.
Manly Boat Shed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I did
Julie, if
Opera
you're
House.
listening, please book me.
You did a weird gig, right, on Sunday as well. Not to
Yeah.
overshadow Rose's achievement,
I
but you
did- I
seem
did
desperate
it. I
to.
did it.
It's so fun to talk about a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations, Rosie. It's fucking awesome.
I
But
did
now,
a fucking batshit insane gig last night. It was unreal.
What?
I won't say where it was, just for whatever. But it was in a bowling club.
Yeah,
Okay,
you,
yeah.
You, you also said it 30
so
seconds
clues
ago.
are, clues are there
Let them
for...
put it together themselves.
May it be on a beach, perhaps.
Yeah.
I did this gig at Bondi Bowling Club.
Okay, there we go.
Where
Yeah, he's back, man.
I was
To be
told.
fair, you said it, but you said Bondi Bolo before you said I won't say what it is.
Yeah. I was going to let the audience piece that together themselves.
What? You're handing them a finished jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm looking for plausible deniability, not a difficult puzzle.
But you've just said where it was again.
Well, now I've given up on it. Like, I gave up on it. Once I said Bondi Bowl, I'd clearly given up. Like,
You're gonna get whipped after this.
Oh,
well,
boy.
so I get there, and the first thing I'm told is, fuck, where do I even start with this? So I emailed asking for a gig, and the response was, "Yep, I'd love to have you in a gig. I watched your clip. You mentioned you're engaged. Did you get married in the end? I got divorced last year.
Oh.
First email exchange with the person booking the
Yes.
gig. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got married. She goes, cool. So here are the dates. You can do this show, which is just like the regular show, or you can do this show about race. Do you want to do the show about race?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't think I would want to do the show about race.
No.
And then she
That's
goes,
growth for you, too.
Yeah, my instinct was.
Yeah.
I was like, I got some things to say.
Yeah, the emo is the N-word of the world. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so I was like, I'm not going to do the gig. I'll just do the gig at the bowling club. She replies again and be like, oh, okay, that's fair enough. Can I just ask what race you are, though? I'm just interested to know what race you are.
She knows you got married, but
Yes.
not what race you are.
Well, what, like... Her idea of race is a little different to your ideas because she used some words that I wasn't maybe comfortable with.
I see.
In her reply, when I said I'm
Emo.
just a boring white guy.
Yeah.
And she started listing some what I would describe as white European ethnicities. And then
I
can
thought
we say WOG on a podcast?
I thought you were gonna say like she just listed all achievements that
Should've
white
said
people
it
have
a
made
minute
throughout
ago. Yeah,
history.
yeah.
And, like,
Down on
they
this.
actually
No, but
owned the world at one
She,
point.
she was saying like I'm a big fan, like capital, like what, like really.
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on. I
yeah.
was like, oh man, you're blonde. Like I don't.
Yeah,
and it was
right.
all like whatever, and like being like I'm a Jew, like big letters. I was like, oh, this is all making me feel a bit weird.
It's weird to see that in a caps lock, but if it's a Jew typing Jew in caps lock, that's okay.
Totally. But it was like,
I'd immediately start trying to figure out what acronym that was.
but I'd never done anything to suggest that I was interested in discussing her ethnicity with
Yes.
her. I was just trying to book some work. Anyway, so I get to the gig last night, and I'm with another comic, Barry, and Barry goes, this is my first time meeting this woman, and Barry goes, hey, how's your day going? How you been? And her response is, separated. You know how it is. She's like, oh man. Apparently
man.
her husband had done the gig the month before, like her ex-husband had done the gig the month before, and like bombed when like
Post-divorce or
post-divorce. Like she booked her ex-husband.
She booked her.
As
But
a,
that
power,
was his first gig.
as a power move, or you think she thought he was funny?
Oh,
I don't know.
She booked her ex-husband
She booked her ex-husband.
for his first gig.
Yeah. It was her first gig too. She was hosting, and it was her first.
No! This next act, I've been seeing him all around town.
Yeah, man.
This also honestly sounds like what you'd do if you ran the gig.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Damn.
that.
Well, like the divorce is going to be hard on me. No one can deny that.
Yeah, certainly.
Anyway, then she, like the very next thing, she gathers all the comics around and she goes, "Now I should tell you guys, we don't have a light in this room. I sit at the front and I have a whip." And she pulled up like a novelty riding crop, like with like a love heart on the end, like the kind you'd get at a sex shop for $40 or whatever.
Sure.
Like, and she goes, "Yeah." So, well, I thought she was kidding, but she was like, "What happens if a comedian goes over time? I hold up my whip and then lets them know they get off, and if they don't get off, I come on stage and I whip them."
So instead of the light, which happens up the back and isn't obvious to the audience, you have something
Very
that is
functional.
incredibly distracting held up in the front row so everyone sees, and it's also a threat of physical violence.
Yeah, and I had to be like, at that moment, I had to be like, just in case you're being serious, don't fucking whip me. Like, I'm not okay with that. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't gain anything. It also, the light is attached to her phone, which
It's
is
also-
presumably in her pocket with her ex-husband's number.
Absolutely.
on.
Do you remember there used to be a gig, I won't say who ran it, but it was down in the depths of Glebe.
Oh, yeah.
And when the runner of that gig gave you the light, they basically they were standing next to the stage and basically they weren't on the stage with their arm basically.
They would come to the
phone
side of the
with the
stage at
light
the
right
front
at
and
you, like,
put the
yeah, I got
phone.
it.
Yeah. They shone it in your eyes like in Men in Black. Is that? Yeah.
The audience were very confused.
And stood there until you really acknowledged it. And
Oh, man.
oh.
Anyway, over the course of the night, it became quite apparent that at the previous show, she had to whip some comics who were kind of doing it for the bit, but also maybe I don't know. I'm not here to cast aspersions on whatever. And then on the night, I did 2 minutes under time because that woman's not fucking whipping me.
Yes.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm ready to Me Too someone.
I just don't wanna be
absolutely not
touched.
okay with her touching me.
The idea of anyone touching me with any whip, even with the numbers being what they are, even without the pandemic, is like, no, I'm not coming.
I didn't even think about the pandemic. That's the other thing. It's the most people I performed to since comedy's come back by far. There was 100 people in the room, maybe
What the
80.
fuck?
Yeah, it was packed out.
How the hell?
How?
It was sold out, dude. It was.
That's wild. I didn't perform to that many people in the fucking opera house.
That's
Rose,
so
we get it. I performed at the Pod by Pollen Club.
Oh my god. Both equally successful.
Yeah.
So 100 people.
Yeah, 80 to 100, I would say.
How big was the room?
Huge. It was a big bowling club, function center thing. But it was also they for sure weren't doing the distancing
Yes.
properly.
How was the?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. How was the gig itself?
Honestly, fine, pretty good even,
Yeah.
whatever. Except right at the end, before the last act came up. Oh, there was a couple things as well. When the comic would come to stage, she'd dance with them, like Ellen, because there was a DJ on stage with her. I should have mentioned that.
Wrong
earlier.
time for
Wait,
that
so
too.
the DJ is on stage during the act as
He
well?
kind of comes out when she goes up, and then he ducks around. Or to her, sorry. She ducks back.
I'm
backstage.
imagining him.
Does she have, full
I'm imagining
decks?
him behind
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
doing the stairs.
So
trick.
Yeah,
In-
I was picturing someone just kind of sadly sitting down on the floor behind the decks, right?
So apparently the DJ was had recently been touring in Dubai and was a legit DJ. It was a young, attractive woman who then during the break when she was, DJing, she started singing with a microphone over the thing.
Oh, no.
And it was and honestly she was good. It was just not at all the context. for it.
Yes,
She
my
was
problem.
a good musician.
The reason for my oh no is that one of the worst things that can happen to a comedy night is someone with an actual talent starts
Absolutely.
performing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really harshes the vibe, especially when it's an actual musician and everyone's like, "Oh, we don't have to do the second half, do we? We could just,
We could just all kind of have a nice evening.
yeah."
Then, so what she was doing is when the DJ would play a song and the act would come up, she'd kind of have the whip in her hand and kind of dance with the comic as they came to stage, kind of like Ellen. And that was all fine, and a lot of the comics were kind of getting on board. I refused to dance.
Yes.
But then on the last, I was the last act, just before she brought me up, she was like, just so you guys know, obviously no one's allowed to dance during COVID and stuff. So what I'm going to do is when the show's done, anyone who wants to come up stage and dance with me is more than welcome to. Right?
Uh-huh.
And then
When all the acts come out at the end of the Melbourne Comedy Festival gala.
and also all the audience was in it, but no one came up at the end of the show.
Yes.
So it was just her dancing.
For how long?
About 2 minutes before two of her friends kind of joined her, but they were stony faced, dancing as a
Oh,
favour.
But
no.
even that's probably not quite on, right?
It was absolutely not.
There's
on.
definitely no loophole there. She thinks she's found a loophole by having it be part of the show, but the show is not. Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, there's no dancing due to COVID. However, we're going to end the show with a dance as a way to get around that. And however many people, like she's like the gangsters in ECW asking people to get in the ring. Public Enemy or whatever. Fucking hell.
I appreciated that. The other thing she did as well, and like, I don't want to say her name, but like she edited, you know that song Barbra Streisand, like the dance song?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
She'd edited
Right.
that song. Her name sounded very similar to Barbra Streisand.
Uh-huh.
She'd edited her name
Oh, that's
like
sick,
over
though.
when
That's
the guy
very
says Barbra
cool.
Yeah,
Streisand.
that redeems all the
Yeah.
stuff. Like I'm on her side now.
Yeah, this is actually good
Yeah,
now.
she should have whipped
And
you.
also,
and
you
should've-
should have done
yeah,
that
you-
as well. For you to come on stage to Andrew Hastings. we were having fun. Do you guys know Dave Harmon? He's like one of a man. My description for Dave is like he has Crohn's disease, and if I make fun of him too accurately, I start to feel anti-Semitic. But like, we had him as a guest in our live podcast, and I was like, "What is the funniest song we can get this very short man in a waistcoat to come out on stage to?" And we settled on "Whistle" by Flo Rida. Like trudging onto stage. It's so good. Man, top 40 redeployed. What a killer. But Andrew Hastings is a real killer for me. I love that.
I have something to recommend. It just reminded me. If you guys want to look up the video Timber by Pitbull and Kesha,
yeah?
there's about 1/4 of a second in the video where Pitbull's mask slips and he smiles with a smile, like he smiles with the light of 1,000 suns. There's he's patting a stingray in the water. It's like a half a second shot.
And you get to see him be
And he's,
genuinely
like,
thrilled with his life.
He's so happy. And it's like, it's well worth your time. Just watch it. It's about 2,000.
I kind of want to stop and watch it now.
Fucking unreal. Pitbull, like, just beaming. He's so happy to be there.
Oh, you got to remind me after this because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
the first thing
Yeah.
I'll do is get to it.
Yeah, I've got a screenshot of the moment sitting around somewhere, but I'll dig it up. But yeah, man.
Should we talk about some movies? 'Cause
Yeah,
we got
we've
two
got
of them.
two to talk about. So
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it. Welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All, a podcast about teen sex comedies and things thereabouts and things very much not thereabouts. This week we're doing two movies for the first time ever. We are finishing out the Jackass trilogy, doing 2 and 3. This is going to be hard to read synopses for 2 pages at once.
It's
It's
movies
everyone
of
should be-
Jackass.
it's the two Jackass sequels.
Everyone
Both
is.
synopsis.
I
don't know.
I've got two main questions about this after watching these two movies.
Mm-hmm.
One I'll save right till the end. But my first, I just fucking forgot. I did because I watched them like really quickly in succession today, and they do fucking rule. This is my question: is it the best comedic trilogy of movies ever made?
It might be.
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, it's the movies that make me laugh super duper hard. Also, I'm sorry, my answer is distracted because I did find the picture.
Oh my god!
Oh, look at him! He's having the time of his life.
He doesn't even look.
He's having a great time.
He doesn't even look like Pitbull in that. It looks like
No,
a guy. It looks like a guy.
And we'll
yeah.
post it in
It's
the
worth
the
checking
feed.
out in the video
sure.
because like he looks back and he's like trying to he's like talking to a producer or something. He's
Yeah.
like, can you be able to fucking do it? Like it's like he's looking
Yeah,
back. So
he looks like a kid. It's at.
But it also
if you
just
want to
looks
see it for
that-
yourself in the video, it's at 1:55 in the Timber video clip.
I'll post it in the.
It also just looks like a dad showing vacation slides.
Yeah.
Just being
Yeah.
like, yeah, we went to the
completely
Coliseum.
that vibe.
Here's me holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Mr. Worldwide.
Because he doesn't have to look cool. In that situation, anyone would be thrilled
Yeah.
to be touching that thing.
I patted a stingray in Japan and it fucking ruled.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sick.
They're
What do they
really
feel
cool.
like?
They're kind of like rubbery.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting.
I swam with dolphins like in the ocean once. That was
That's
kinda
cool,
I was
too.
just at the beach and some dolphins like in Ballina.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Ballina, Yamba.
When I used
Came and swam with him.
When I used to go bodyboarding a lot when I was a teenager in like Stanwell Park, quite often you'd be like going over a wave and then you'd freak out for a second and be like, there's a shark! And then realize it was just a bunch of dolphins
Yeah.
going through waves.
Wow.
That's cool.
awesome. Dolphins are like I love dolphins. I love whales. Man.
So, do you guys think it's also maybe the best comedic trilogy of movies? It doesn't have much to compete with trilogy-wise comedically.
There's
Like,
very few things that have
true.
nailed
American
all three.
Pie, Hangover.
Yeah, I feel like all the other blockbuster. I mean, the main thing is that it doesn't have a plot, which is
Helpful.
it's most helpful thing because it doesn't like it's literally just sketch after sketch after sketch.
And it was kind of like endless, right? Like they could make 3 more, and you could just keep making.
Well, then-
shit.
Well,
Yeah.
they made
They
that
won't,
2.5, which I meant to watch.
That's
for
what
this
I mean.
and
It's
then-
2.5 rocks.
Yeah.
So does 3.5, I believe.
There's
I
a
believe there's a
3.5?
3.5 as well, where
So
they
it's
have like extra-
2.5 because I was the girl that I'm seeing and I were very hungover in bed yesterday, and
Nice.
Man, you just don't stop bragging today, do you? Right? You did the opera.
Was it
house.
after the Opera
You
House,
see it
perhaps?
go.
After the Opera
You were
House.
in
It was after
bed.
the gig of the Opera House.
it
Yeah,
was after the gig at the Opera House. But
and you were hungover because you probably hadn't paid for many drinks because of that gig at the Opera House.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
All the money you
Pretty nice payday, had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, you're not used to podcasting on a high, huh?
But like, she was kind of like, she skeptically suggested like, okay, I'll watch them with you,
Yeah.
and then fucking laughed
Oh,
out
yeah.
loud so much.
Well, 2.5 is kind of like
But we went to watch that, and then realized it's like, I thought it was just like 2 with the extra stuff in. But
no,
it's
it's kind of
different,
like a documentary with the unseen sketches
because it's
added
only like
in.
an hour long or something.
Yeah, they're actually really fun. So my follow-up question is it, and I think there could be a case to be made. Is it the best trilogy of movies ever made?
Hold on, I didn't answer your first question.
Yeah.
So I put it on. I liked Jackass growing up, but I'm not as big a Jackass head as you guys, right? I liked it. I dabbled. I didn't quite love it the way you guys maybe did.
You pussy.
When I put on 2 by myself, knowing that I was about to do 2 back to back, the first couple minutes there was a bit where I was like, have I outgrown Jackass? Is that a possibility? Then that moment where it's the old woman prosthetics and the dress gets caught in the taxi door and the dress rips off and she has the long skinny old woman tits and there's a guy standing there putting his head up to his hands because of the secondhand embarrassment, just like a guy on the street and he just doesn't know how to process what's happening. And it was like I was hungover, 11 in the morning. Like I was howling laughing. I was like,
so good.
I'm all the way. I'm watching 4 hours of this back to back right now. I'm in. Let's do it.
It's-
That's my entire Saturday that way.
Yeah, it really is the best, and also like it builds on your knowledge of these people who they somehow present as like being likable, despite I would bet dollars to donuts being truly awful people off camera.
Probably all of
Oh
them.
yeah.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, the blend of like genuine human pain and their like Looney Tunes understanding of slapstick comedy is so good.
Yeah.
Because slapstick, you never see it employed in a genuinely slightly dangerous fashion.
Yeah.
And then you find out there's nothing that makes you laugh more than just seeing a guy get shot with a crowd control
Totally.
device.
Totally.
2 and 3 almost more than 1, I think, make me laugh because of how much fun they seem to be having
Yeah.
doing
See,
it as
this-
well.
They're kind of
This is where I had
it, right?
This is where I had a different opinion because I would say it gets 3, 1, 2 from like best to worst because 2 has a really sinister vibe where they're obviously all fucked, like drunk and on drugs and whatnot, and it's like it's not positive vibes. But the third one where they said they had like that sober set for Steve-O.
So, Rose,
Like,
what's happened
There's
is...
better vibes, and it's more slapsticky stuff.
Is
which
these
more fun.
men have put their bodies on the line for your entertainment and for your pleasure for years and years, developed, alcohol and painkiller and whatever else addictions to try and cope with that, both physically and psychologically, and now you punish them for that? Now you criticize them for putting their bodies on the line? How dare you? They're soldiers in the good fight.
I think...
Did you think that was going to work?
Kinda. I kind of just started talking and was going to see where it went.
Yeah. I
I
felt
feel
you
like
slip into a rhythm and be like, you know what? I think I can ride this out as long as I even half-ass the landing here.
I feel like that
Basically,
is
that's pretty much what happened.
your MO a lot of the
I
time.
actually work really hard and I'm really funny.
I think my favorite 2 and 3 are great. My favorite Jackass stunt of all time is not even a dangerous one. It's just the one that is a guy, Dave England, I believe, shitting on a small model bathroom.
Oh, man.
And
That's so funny.
That
So
gets
funny.
me every single time, and it is such a wonder of trick photography.
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
what a stupid fucking simple
good.
idea.
The one that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. I don't think it's like the most interesting or whatever, but it's like it really tickled me. Where it's I think it's in 2 where they've got the big hand. I mean it's 3 where they've got the big hand.
The third one.
Yeah.
That is the best thing they've ever done.
But there's a bit where I can't remember
Just
what
where the
it
bit
is.
where Aaron falls for carrying the soup.
That's what
and
I
then
was
they
gonna
all
bring
make
up.
fun of him for it. They're like, I can't believe you carried
Which
the soup.
that is so funny, but the way it hits Bam, he just seizes up like completely.
Oh, yeah.
and then falls down. Like there's nothing funnier than that.
Yeah.
But there's something about like just the sort of what's the word like the presumed context of it. It's like that means they said you've got to carry the soup, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to carry soup. Like, like it was like, what world is he not like? Yeah, this is probably something's going to spill on me.
I like before they get
soup's
him.
hilarious.
Before they get him to like do that soup thing, there's a couple of like staff members who walk through, and you can just see like a slight bit of absolute terror in their eyes. And it's like, please don't hit me with the hand. You'd be so on edge the whole time.
Oh, absolutely.
I had never thought about this until you mentioned it to me yesterday about the thing about 2 being sinister.
Yeah.
And watching it today, I do get it. Like, there is, like, more of a mean streak in 2 where, like, especially they're determined to make Bam cry.
Yeah.
Which, like,
Which,
I
to be
think
fair, I love.
is hysterical in context.
I
Because,
was-
like, at that point, Bam's probably, like, the most famous and
Yes.
kind of a prick, obviously.
He sucks.
Oh,
And
for
also,
sure.
like 3 weeks ago, out of nowhere, I just like was walking along with Demi, my girlfriend, and turned to her, like just started laughing. It was like, remember when Bam cried and then fell in the hole? Like it's perfect, and he doesn't laugh. At no point does he start
upset.
finding
He's
it funny.
so upset.
I feel like that is like sums up the vibe of the movie, where it's just like this is just kind of sad.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, my...
He's
Also,
really
like-
unhappy.
Well, like he should
and
be
like
able to.
super drunk. Like,
Cunt should if he's gonna that cunt should take it if he's gonna dish it.
Well,
out,
my,
you know what I
my
mean?
favorite...
It is mean, but it's also funny. I agree with you, Rose. I
did
think.
people send you a cameo from Phil and April?
Yes.
That's great.
It's incredible. One of the things about starting to do more of this bullshit. We have 2 cameos from the Margera family.
Have you got
someone?
Bam too?
No, someone got me and Demi a cameo plugging BigSoftTitty.png from Bam.
Yeah.
Clearly recorded in a diner as he was like using fingerless gloves to pick through some fries. And what's up, everybody? I just want to give a shout out to BigSoftTitty.png. Like clearly reading it for the first time as he went through it. And then Ape and Phil recorded a cameo that is incredible. They recorded it for me thinking I was a real truck driver. One of the viewers of my... I'm sorry, for
Yeah.
the pathetic context of this.
Yeah,
I
let's get
have
into
a
that.
Twitch stream where I play American Truck Simulator almost exclusively, and my truck had been repossessed on a recent stream, and so April and Phil Margera were commissioned to give me an inspirational speech, thinking that I was a real trucker with real feelings that needed to be preserved. So April does all of the heavy lifting on the cameo, and Phil interjects 3 times, sorry, each one more useless than the last. I've got the cameo. Do you
Yeah,
want to
go play it
please.
down the
Yeah.
mic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very
What
funny.
percentage of cameos do you think are like pranks?
Oh,
Man.
Almost
quite a
big.
large
Well into the
Almost all.
60s or 70s at
Yeah.
least, yeah. Man. Someone got me a cameo from pro wrestler Luke Gallows for my birthday.
Oh,
yeah, which
yeah, but in character is
which I watched, and
Oh, yeah.
he put fucking
Man.
all his heart into it.
You
It's
could
great.
never accuse Luke Gallows of not going for it.
Oh man,
that cunt goes for
he
it.
really gave it some. It was
Yeah.
really good.
I love Sex Ferguson. That's such a great character.
It's that's one of the things about cameos. There are some that are really bad and very upsetting, and it's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
But then there's some people who you're like, fuck yeah, I'm glad that Ape and Phil O'Neill are walking around with an
Yeah.
extra however many dollars.
Well, we got
Well,
Tara
we
Reid
got
for
Tara
ours.
Reid. For
Oh
the
my
pod,
God.
Which was pretty sad.
Which I forgot to put on the Instagram. I will do that, and it's a little upsetting. She
not doing
she
great.
does not seem in a good way.
I got Misha Barton for my friend for his wedding, and she didn't also
pretty
seem
cool.
like she was doing amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, you got to go for someone who's like maybe not doing great enough so that they're on Cameo, but they can't be sad.
yeah. How much did Misha Barton set you back?
$75, but now I think
Alright.
it's like $350.
Oh my God.
Kyle Legacy is only $5 on Cameo.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
about Kyle.
A lot of people have been trying to prank him on there.
I mean, one of the great things about Kyle is
He's
you really
untrainable.
don't have to write in any homophobic slurs. He'll add them to
You can
whatever
also
message
just
you want.
say,
That's
say
genuinely
the.
what happened in
Yeah.
one of them.
If
Yeah,
you give
I
him
know.
$5 and say the N-word, I bet you it's happening.
Man, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
It's also like you can't prank him though. Like it's he's playing on a different
No.
plane of reality. Like,
Yes.
it's not. Yeah, he doesn't think it's. Not
He's the
like-
I feel like
Roadrunner.
we've
There's
brought up
nothing.
Kyle in every
Yeah.
episode of this Tom's done.
Here's the cameo.
Oh,
Hi,
baby.
Tom. It's April and Phil Margera.
Hello, Tom. It's Phil and April Margera. Same thing.
Well, your friend Snack Bandit
So that's the first of 3 completely useless interjections from Phil. Okay.
called us and told us that you needed like some encouragement. It's like you've had some real setbacks and some
is
shitty
so
times.
sweet.
I shouldn't say the S word. But anyway,
I've got points about
you need
that.
to suck it up and dust yourself off and get back on the road, buddy. Okay? Get in your truck and get going.
Whoa.
And leave the past behind because tomorrow is a new day.
comes another
And tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. And you can't let past stuff drag you down. So you're going to start tomorrow fresh and you're going to pick yourself up and you're going to move forward because that's what you need to do.
Well, we don't know what the setbacks are. Maybe they're COVID related. Maybe. Get out of the phone.
And she just sighed as well.
Move on. And
I don't know if you heard that, but you can hear.
Going to
Oh,
what you
sorry.
need to do.
Yeah.
well, we don't know what the setbacks are. Maybe they're COVID related. Maybe they're not letting him travel. But get out of the phone.
Yeah.
Move on and congratulations.
Congratulations on what? I'm not sure. Somebody is just goofy
Phil.
around here and I deal with it every day. But anyway,
He's a trucker. They have fun. They travel. They see everything. It's awesome. Enjoy.
have a great day.
He also, I think we missed it there, but he says like, get out of the funk. Is that it? He's in a funk. Like he hasn't been listening
Is that
to
it?
anything. All right, yeah.
Man,
Because April, like, seems like a genuinely lovely person.
April seems like America's mother.
Yeah,
I think-
who's just
I think
had
they're
so
both-
much shit like
I reckon
lumped onto
I
her.
reckon
Yeah.
that might not be the case.
Oh, really?
I think like they've made a lot of money. Like I think they probably enabled Bam pretty badly. You'd imagine, right? Like they've made so much money off it, and like it's he's still he still lives with them or something, doesn't he? Like there's like a
Wow.
weird relationship with his parents, isn't there?
I have no idea.
Well, no, he bought the house for them, and so
No,
like
I
they.
think like more recently when his wife was controlling his medication or something. Like there was all sorts of weird shit going on with his family. I think.
Yeah, Bam's life doesn't seem particularly.
Yeah, I think that. I
Yeah.
know he hated his parents.
He
for a
doesn't seem
while,
Jackass
like-
4 ready
I
at
saw
the
him. He was
moment.
talking about on Dr. Phil.
Well, he looks noticeably worse between the second and third movie because like the second one, Jen was saying like, oh, like I would still like.
Yeah.
Despite the goatee, I still would. And then the third one was like, oh, nah, lost it.
Yeah.
Man, can we all talk about Bam with a bit of respect? All right,
He's on the up and up now,
he's a
but,
dumb-
he's made some mistakes.
I see a lot of myself in Bam, and I say, I just worry about him, and I just hope he's okay. And the way you guys are talking about him makes me worry about how you guys talk about me when I'm not around.
Okay. Well, what about to your face? Because I feel like we've covered that much worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Bam has a real descent of the people. Do you guys know that I saw Jackass live?
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
talked about that.
last time.
on
you
the
were
Yeah,
last
okay,
episode.
good. I was just checking that I had talked about that.
You had.
Awful little wee man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
Good
it's
on him.
also like 2 and 3, more so than 1, kind of make Johnny Knoxville like unkillable badass
Yeah,
in
I
this
didn't
movie.
like how Johnny Knoxville kind of like never took an L. Like he never.
No, fuck that.
he-
Johnny
What are you talking about? He got
fucking
beat
rules
to
in that
death
movie.
by Butterbean.
No.
Yeah.
That's in the first one, but also.
Yeah, I know, but like-
no, I mean, like he seems
Him
like, he gets
again-
hurt, but I mean, he never like you see Bam being like, "Why'd you fucking do that to me?" Or you see the others be like, "I'm not fucking doing that." Whereas Knoxville's always like so bravado up to 12, and he's always like, "Yeah, that hurt. That fucking rocked." Like he doesn't like show vulnerability.
I feel like it's an attitude thing. I feel
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
he definitely gets hurt still, but he's like,
gets hurt.
I am somehow becoming famous and rich through
The,
this.
the
that's
riot
what- that's
control thing is my favorite moment in the entire trilogy with Knoxville, where they set up that riot control bomb and like Bam and Dunn are both like, fuck
Yeah, they're
this,
so
fuck
scared.
this. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. And they both go on with fucking like masks and helmets. He puts his hand over his nose.
Does he put
And then
one
get-
hand over his dick
Yeah,
as well?
and then he's in the middle and just gets fucking destroyed.
We talked about that
Bam
on
and
the-
Dunn go down. He's
Yeah.
still standing, just giggling like a fuckwit.
We talked about that on the last Jackass episode where, like, because when they do the right control thing in that, he's on his own and he's genuinely terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now he's got people he can be like, I'm the fucking alpha.
Well, then
I'm having a
two
laugh.
has two of those moments because when he does the rocket to close the show, the rocket
my God.
malfunctions,
Yeah, it nearly
and in the
kills him.
slow mo, and his response is that would have been a picture wrap on old Knoxville, and he
Yeah.
cackles maniacally,
Yeah.
and it rules. Like Knoxville is the king. Like I always, when you're growing up, you always want to be like, actually, I kind of like the obscure one, but like Knoxville fucking rules.
Yeah, all
Like,
the obscure ones in Jackass are obscure because they clearly suck in different ways. Like Preston Lacey and
Yeah.
David are like Danger Aaron.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, these guys, like they keep them around to shit on them, right? Like it's very clear the relationships that there are.
Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
reason that Knoxville is the leader and has had the most longevity in his career.
It
doing
Knoxville,
whatever he
Bam,
does.
Steve-O, and to a lesser extent, Wee Man, I guess, would be the front men, you'd say, right?
I don't know
No,
about
Dunn,
Wee Man.
man.
Dunn, you reckon?
Dunn
Yeah.
was the star of the
Dunn
first
is like
movie,
the
I
unsung
thought.
hero of like the whole trilogy,
I'm saying
probably.
like public branding, like the guys they push as
Yeah,
the,
Dunn, because Dunn was on like fucking Viva La Bam and stuff.
I suppose, but Bam was named
Stands
was
for
in
Long Live
Viva
the
La
Bam.
Bam.
Yeah, but you were saying Wee Man in that
right,
gang.
okay.
I would have said,
over Wee Man, maybe so.
Yeah.
But, like Knoxville, Steve-O, and Bam are the right. Like
That's
yeah,
probably the
that's the
front
holy,
three. They're the gods?
that's the holy
Yeah.
They're on
trilogy.
the podium.
They're the
Yeah.
ones who, if you don't have them in Jackass 4, the people would be like, well, this is weird. Why aren't they in?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that was a question I was going to ask. It's what? I think it's been 10 years since Jackass 3D. Would
it
you
really?
watch a Jackass 4, which apparently is coming out in 2021?
yes.
I would, but my wish is for them to be largely sunsetted. I would like them to be providing guidance there, but get similar people, not similar people of a
Jackass,
similar
the new
stature.
generation.
Yes, almost.
All
but like,
female
I want.
Jackass.
I want. I mean, fuck yeah. let's have a lady putting a clit through a hole and a snake biting it.
That one rocks.
It's so fun. That's how they open the movie,
yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
so funny.
Oh my god. But yeah, I think I would like some. I would like for there to be new blood introduced. I think for it to be just that I don't want it to be
Yeah.
a nostalgia trip because I think that will be sad.
But what about this for nostalgia? The re-emergence of Brandon DiCamillo, who was a regular cast member on the TV show, but
I
not
think
in the
he's
movies.
done though.
What
He's
did he
like
do?
publicly he's just like publicly renounced and been like, yeah, I'm a family man now. I think you've got a bigger chance of
Right.
getting Rab himself back in the fold, who's like all still good friends with him, I think.
Yeah, right.
Like after a
Done.
long estrangement.
They should get Hastings in there, but instead of physical stunts, it should just be bullying.
Yeah,
Like
That could
I just
be
get-
that
watch
could
how
be done.
much he can take. Yeah. What
Yeah.
is it? I'm so
I'll
sorry
never
for
quit comedy.
losing track of this. Which movie or the TV show is the card throwing stool in?
That's the
That's
second
Two
one.
or three.
That
Yeah.
is
Different.
an all-time.
Very funny.
The card
You got a
throwing machine.
card throwing machine in here, and just like one of the funniest ones. Yeah, hands down, it's the best comedy trilogy ever.
It's
the only one that
incredible.
will genuinely make me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was-
KPIs.
Well, while we've shat on Bam a lot, like he genuinely has clearly like some good ideas because it's
Yes.
like it's
Yeah.
the
Like
bungee.
Well,
Like
yeah, it
Hastings.
said that he came up with that sketch.
Yeah.
and it's so funny.
Yes.
Like
Even
that's one of
the
best of
the
all
fact
three.
that he chose to replace the strongman test with the weights hitting his balls and he changed it to a dildo going up his ass and he was like, "That's comedy." I was like, you know what, Bam? It actually
Yeah,
is.
you know-
Like,
you're not wrong.
I was like, you fucking
great
nailed it,
instincts.
man.
Funny.
Yeah,
and the
it's,
slow mo. It's just
That's
Yeah.
like because like some of those things like they are all the best thing about it is not only are they like dumb as shit and they do all this stuff, but a lot of 2 and 3 let like their natural charisma shine through as well.
Yes.
Like when they brand Bam and his parents are like asking him why
Yeah,
he
that's fun.
did
That's
it,
good.
and he's just like, because it was funny. Like
yeah.
Man.
God.
But then just like the kind of like conversation you'd have like with children and parents where they're like, "Why'd you do it?" He's like, "I didn't want to hurt my friend."
It's so good.
The bit with Bam's parents where they swapped out Phil for a
that
different
felt
guy.
uncomfortable
That
this
felt-
time
yes,
around.
very uncool.
That is one of the that is I think one of
really
the
don't
only
like
things
that
that genuinely made me pause.
It's just- this
because I
is-
thought it was
this is
hysterical.
rapey. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help that the guy was there going, "You can say whatever you want. I did just assault you." Like he's just
Yeah.
admitting it. on
But it's
camera.
also
Yeah.
like, why is Phil okay with that?
yeah.
He seems a little
I mean, he
uncomfortable.
showed
I think.
himself to be a bit of a dumbass.
I feel like Phil is a very stupid man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and there's fucking money pouring in and exposure
Yeah.
pouring in and stuff.
Oh, I kind of thought he might have been like stoned on the video you showed a minute ago, like painkillers.
Oh,
He looked
right.
a little like not there.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Like just
for there to be an
there's
oxy
like an
thing.
There's like an opioid.
allegedly.
Yeah. There's like an opioid crisis in America. It's probably just that, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
his brother was pretty fucked up, dude. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, being a drug addict isn't the same as being a pedophile. Let's get that on the record.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
for
but,
my
you know.
personal,
yeah.
A guy who smokes a lot of weed is also not a guy that has sex with children.
They are not the same thing.
They're
I
not the
want
same
that
thing.
on record.
Yeah.
Although there is a strong correlation.
Yeah. There's a lot of research coming
That would
out.
be so funny. if weed doesn't have any negative side effects, if it slowly makes you a pedophile.
That's a slow-moving train.
It's not
as well.
addictive either. You can stop whenever you want, but it does chill you out, makes sleeping easier, and also you start being a pedophile.
For the next 5 years, it's like, you got to stop smoking weed pretty soon.
Pretty soon. I'm really coming up on it. I feel like the next spliff, any joint now, I'm going
Yeah.
to tick over to pedophile. And it happens like that.
Yeah, one day it's just, it's like a,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch to CBD.
I was thinking about the idea of number 4 because at first I was against your idea. I was
Yeah.
because Knoxville was on record as being like we get some new blood into it, and I was like, oh, kind of not. I'm there for the guys. Like that's part of why I love it. But then also I was like, I don't want to see these men in their 40s doing this necessarily.
Oh, God.
And then on the walk
Yeah.
here, I was like, oh, what if it's like SNL where Johnny Knoxville is the Lorne Michaels and there's just eras of Jackass.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either because I think Jackass is a time and place thing, right? Like it belongs in the early 2000s or where that was when it was, late 90s, early 2000s.
Like
Started like 99 or something?
early to late 2000s, like
Yeah, right.
2002, I believe.
It feels very 2002 to 2005 to me. The whole
Yeah.
thing feels. And
Yeah.
it's like it's maybe I don't know if there's space in the culture or whatever for fucking Johnny Knoxville's junior to be. I don't know, harassing people.
I do
on the
wonder
street or
about,
whatever.
like,
But I disagree because Eric Andre, like a lot of that
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
is Jackass-esque, at least in its execution. I
Yeah.
think that his stuff is more mean-spirited than Jackass, honestly, a lot of
Yeah.
the time, and it's like also edited to be more abrasive. But I think that definitely the appetite is there, and I think I want to
Might
see
just be-
Knoxville as
yeah.
like a Professor X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that
might
would be
just
so
maybe
cool.
you're
I think-
right. Maybe it just
I
needs
think-
like a tone shift.
I think it's
Yeah.
just about it's about finding the right personalities to replace them with because
Yes.
like they've done it a bunch of times and never well. Like,
Well, Dirty
the Dudesons
Sanchez and the
is-
Dudesons kind of
yeah,
suck.
They were both
Like,
Yeah.
terrible. That's what I was about to say. Like, so they just need because like
I like the idea of being like the dudes. They're terrible. They don't know how to take a pitchfork in the ass at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
They got to go back to school. You know,
you
sit
know,
on
like, just, like,
Steve-O's
yeah,
learning
sometimes-
tree.
like,
you've
they
got
were
to
just-
go to you've got to go to improv class for 4
just
years.
like the vibe was always off. I think like the execution, they're just like, oh, isn't it funny that I just sawed my thumb off because I have nothing to do out here in
Yeah.
the Nordic.
I like it.
And then Dirty Sanchez were just like fucked up British cunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see British people doing this kind of stuff.
No, it's
I
not
don't
Oh,
nearly
want
as
to see
fun.
British
Coming.
people.
I don't
No.
want to see British people.
Yeah, they're
No.
not for me.
It was the same
No.
when they remade Kenny vs. Spenny with British people.
Oh,
When
yeah.
they- Ever Spencer, and it
Yeah.
was like,
Oh,
oh,
yuck,
this isn't
yuck,
any,
yuck,
this
yuck,
isn't
yuck.
fun
Really bad.
anymore.
It was
But
not good.
the other reason I thought maybe no to a Jackass 4 is because Jackass 3, in hindsight, is kind of such a nice, wistful conclusion to the trilogy.
I like the end. With
Yeah, with all the
musical
baby
number.
photos, and especially in light of like Ryan Dunn's tragic death as well,
That's
it feels like
true.
such a cap on it. Like I was watching it and I was dying laughing at it, but I was also like, this is kind of sad. Like,
Yeah.
Man.
this is probably the last time like a lot of them really like hung out a lot, and they did the baby photo thing probably as like a knowing like, yeah, we might not be doing this again for a while.
I do agree
Yeah.
with that. I think being reminded of your own mortality through Jackass is one of the worst possible ways.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about my own death when watching Jackass.
No.
It's like one day I might just never see Jamie Kirk again. Like he might just die in a car crash one day. That's horrible to think about.
Yeah.
Man, please don't die.
Yeah.
I'm a very safe driver.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But
don't
I think
worry.
Hastings is going to be driving the car that crashes into you. He's going to
probably.
take you out like a
Happens.
demo derby, dude.
I'm
He's going to
supposed-
paste you across the
I'm
fucking
supposed-
inside.
Yeah,
I'm actually
definitely.
supposed to learn to drive this year. I promised my wife I'd learn to drive this year.
She asked you to kill Jamie Kirk, and you're like, not without a weapon, my sweet. Not without a weapon. I need as much plastic and metal as I can muster, and I need to
Absolutely.
slam it into him when he's at his least and his safest.
What do you think the grossest stunt in either of these two movies are? Because they do fucking go for it.
Oh, good question.
The default reaction I have there is probably the eating the horse cum, because that
fuck 'em up.
that hits me in the stomach.
That is so
hard,
funny.
and that is rare.
There were a few tough moments yesterday because we were eating KFC in bed over a shit. The shit volcano coming out of Dave England's.
I love that.
when they're,
that one was hilarious.
train
Steve-O
set.
in the porta potty fucked me up.
Steve-O in the bong.
Because just when you see
the fart
liquid
Yeah.
shit rise
There's
up, it's
just thinking about the amount of
oh.
shit that would have actually got in his mouth. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Whereas cum's just cum. People eat cum on purpose.
It's horse
But it's
cum.
horse cum.
Oh, yeah, sure. But that's in your head.
Pontius
Yeah, but
is-
it's like a strong yellow, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it looks thick,
Yeah.
really thick.
I shouldn't have to say this. I'm not saying it's good to eat horse cum.
Okay.
I'm just saying that, compared to being in a cubicle filled with shit vertically in every direction,
Yeah.
I'd rather maybe just do the thing that people aren't that
It's certainly
people
over
have done
after
for
a
me
certain-
Yeah.
on a recreational on just a bigger scale.
Also worth it for
And sure, it's on
Pontius's line of, yep, definitely semen.
And just the end line of, I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best comedy moments of it. Is just the little asides at the end of the sketches.
I
Yeah.
thought the best comedy moments were when the men fell over. But,
I mean, I agree with that too. I get a little tired of all the vomiting.
I don't really give a shit
I don't
about it.
find vomiting particularly funny.
Yeah, I think.
Who is the sympathetic vomiter? I'm trying to remember.
Lance Bangs.
Thank you so much.
Did anyone else kind of look at that horse dick and be like, that's a little small? Anyone else? Did
Hastings.
anyone else?
Here he is.
He's
All right, fine. No, I
he's
won't
making
win.
a play.
All right,
Yeah,
fine.
he's very
Never
dangerously
written on the
close to
podcast.
doing a new stand-up bit for us.
Yeah, that's when you stand up. Yeah, you guys remember that part in Jackass too? Where
I honestly would
small?
not put that past you.
Yeah, you reading out a timestamp from Jackass 2 and be like, so there's a dick on screen at this moment.
It would almost be funnier if I was if I just couldn't do it's kind of is a bummer for the podcast that I can do stand up. I'm not even saying I'm good, but just that I can functionally do it.
Yeah.
It's I would fit me way better if I was just falling over up there.
Yeah, it would be great if you would, the first 2 years were just devoted to us trying to get you to face the audience. Every time you'd be like, where'd they go? Every time you blink, you think the audience is gone and you start
All
crying.
bravado on pod and then going up there and being like, yeah.
Yeah. I think grossest, obviously, is great. What do you think what is the stunt that pops into your mind when you think Jackass? And is it from 2 and 3?
The stunt that pops into my mind when I think Jackass is possibly the car in the butt from the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
that's
classic.
probably mine.
That's an iconic one.
The classic, it's not even movies, but shopping carts with 96 quite bitter beings playing over
Yeah,
it is
that's-
like...
Yeah, that's an all-timer. I mean,
great
that's like
song.
the coolest thing you've ever seen when you're 15.
Yeah. And now,
Right.
if you watch the show, it's remarkable how tame it is. It's just them being like, I fell over a little bit. And you're like, oh, man, there is
Yeah.
a lot more to come for you, sir.
Yeah, I would be interested to watch a lot of the show now. in
Even one
comparison to
seems
the movies.
remarkably tame.
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there's that... There's just a big thing where, Wee Man's fucking in a cone and stuff. And I know, from interviews, and I think... Believe me, I watched the director's commentary of Jackass. I think Bam or Dunn really hated a lot of the Wee Man shit.
Really?
Where they were just oh, it's a guy in a fucking cone. We're killing ourselves out here. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
mildly upsetting some Japanese people.
Yeah, I can understand that. It would be very painful to be Bam or Dud and see Wee Man as another part of the group, but all he's doing is, not subjecting himself to incredible physical pain.
Yeah, he's
That'd be a bummer.
because a lot of he does step up in 3, I think. At 2
Yeah.
and 3 he gets hurt a bit more. But in 1, a lot of the stuff is just look how cute he's running around.
He's
look at him
small.
go.
He is.
He's on a fucking skateboard.
Yeah, he's being chased around by sumos or what
Yeah.
have you.
And the same with kind of Preston. Preston kind of is just there to occasionally fall down from maybe 30 centimeters and be uh-oh.
Yeah.
Having said that, I because a lot of it does feel kind of exploitative or whatever, but I do like the switcheroo sketch where Preston goes in and then him Wee Man done up as Preston comes back out to get the dog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's really funny
there was one
because the guy is so confused.
There was one sketch that really stood out for me in this one, and it was the one where they give him the pube beard, then they do the So that's
it's
so
so mean.
confusing.
That one is and
It's
it also lasts
baffling.
like 15
Yeah.
minutes.
It's so long, and it's also the pube beard is so mean on top of
Yeah.
everything
Yeah. So
else,
this is-
where the man gets hit.
and the crabs in the pubic.
This is what's so baffling about it is so it's like the whole they don't even bring up that they're about to fake a murder in the setup
Yeah.
to it. They don't. They're just like we're gonna make him wear a pube beard. Isn't
Do
that
you
crazy?
do you agree? Because the lead into that is Bam looking into the camera saying, "Welcome to the best sketch of this movie."
Wow.
No,
I don't know
I
if it's
disagree.
the best, but it's
Yeah.
the most interesting. I think
It's the longest for sure, and
Yeah.
I think that they would be very proud of it. But
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's the best.
Well, it's the most
to me,
elaborate.
Jackass shines in the very quick one-offs. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Bam riding the skateboard into the Velcro truck
Oh,
is
that's
like
so
that's
funny.
great.
that's
that's
a
great.
hugely satisfying.
Like that is great, and also the him just like looking into the camera, then going up the ramp and then
Yes.
smashing into the camera is really funny.
But no, what I was going to say about the pube beard though is what's I thought was so insane about it is they focus on the pube beard. You kind of mostly forget about the pube beard because they're doing a whole staged murder and there's like it's a prank on a prank and all this crazy meta stuff. Guys locked in a boot, they're faking gunshots. By the time it's all happening, like you kind of forget who is the guy with the pube beard again? Which one?
Aaron.
Is
Gee.
Danger
Aaron.
Aaron.
So
They genuinely make him think he's about to die.
Yeah. So he has this whole thing. There's this whole ordeal. There's this big reveal where he gets out. They reveal he's an actor. They're all hugging each other. It's the biggest thing ever. Then kind of at the end, he's like, "Oh, by the way, it's a pube beard." And then he just is looking at them. And he goes, "What the fuck? I got it in my mouth. What the fuck?
Well,
Is that the reveal? That's the payoff? I had a pube beard this whole time."
Well, I like
And I
when he
was
says it, he
watching
goes, "Was the pube beard necessary?"
That kind of does make the whole sketch.
But that's exactly my point. He's right. It had nothing to do with
Yeah.
what they were doing. They're two separate pranks. Just happening
And
at
then
the same
before
time.
that, he's like, "Oh God, it's also good." I'm sorry, my main contribution to this is just like happily recounting
Oh, no,
moments
it's-
from
Oh,
Jackass.
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad. To
But
do
like
that.
when he starts licking his lips and they're like, they're like cackling at him and he thinks he's killing. One of the cruelest laughs you can get.
Yeah.
It's because he said like it feels like pubes in my mouth.
Oh yeah, and he's doing the accent too, and they're just
Yeah.
like, and he's
Oh,
like, "Yeah, I
man.
think I'm crushing it."
He
And they're
thinks
just like,
he's
"No, you've
crushing
got
it.
the
They're
fucking
just-
pubes stuck to
They're
your
just
face."
pulling a cruel joke and then a crueler joke on him.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
What I find weird about that sketch though is like he sure does give a lot of lip back to the guy who's pointing a gun at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just shut the fuck up? And be like, oh, all
I
right,
think
I'll
he's
get
like,
him.
it's like to his credit, like he's really trying to get the footage.
Yeah, he's
when you
into the
see
character.
whole thing, and it's like he's fucking going for. He's trying to get the fucking footage.
Yeah, trying to do his shitty little jokes.
Yeah.
Very bad. Very bad sketch.
Yeah, man, I love
Like the way that if that was without the twist,
Yeah,
that would be
if it
like
was just
an
a straight-
unconscionably bad.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably wouldn't make the
Piece
cut
of
just for
comedy.
being racist.
It's
Yeah, it's
also-
incredibly racist.
It probably is their longest, most involved one, right? Like even
Yeah.
the like Toy Car Up the Butt is pretty long,
That's
but
what I
it's
mean.
not
They're
that
doing
long.
Probably their most complex sketch they've done, and they're like, oh, and also he's wearing a pube beard, which is their most base. Like that's TV
Yes.
show style shit. Like,
Yeah.
they're doing absolutely.
But it would almost be
worst.
better if they just cut out all the Terror Taxi stuff. And they're like, "Guess
Yeah.
what we did to your fucking face?"
Totally.
Yeah.
I got the animals made me a bit uncomfortable. I have to admit, I was a bit uncomfortable with the animals because when something goes wrong in another situation, at least everyone can stop once something goes wrong. And
Yeah.
like, if the guy falls from 100 meters or whatever the fuck, everyone stop, call the ambulance, whatever. A shark's not going to fucking stop. A shark will kill you. Like, there's
Some of the bull stuff is very
bull stuff
scary.
made me
Oh,
quite
bull stuff genuinely. Yeah.
shark-
The Toro Totter rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then
God.
him alone there in the end, where he gets belted against the thing.
Yeah,
by-
it's so
he
good.
They
genuinely
cut
looks like
off
he
the
could be
tips
about
of
to
the
die.
horns.
Yeah, they blunt the
But
horns,
it's still
but
like
Still.
that bull will
They
fucking
could-
kill you. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
blunted horns or not, like if they hit you hard enough, they'll fucking go
man,
through you.
That's scary.
I do think that each movie gets better. Like I think 3 is the best, and then like 1 is the worst. But my biggest problem with 2 is that there's a lot of like, oh, this is like a Wild Boys idea.
Yeah.
Like it's like a
Yeah.
lot of stuff with Manny and like this is an exotic animal, and it's just like get us back to it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not a fan of the. I agree. I'm not a fan of the animals, and to me, that's because again, that my favorite part of Jackass is the confected, like cartoonish, physics and understanding
Yeah.
of, being able to see like Johnny Knoxville, I don't know, saw off the limb of a tree that he's already on, and then look straight to camera and go "Goo, goo, goo, goo," like
That-
right
that
before
is-
he goes.
The thing with the tree. Wait, was that on the movie?
that's in
Yeah, the
3.
thing they do with the dudes,
Yeah,
where they climb
I was
on the tree
confused
and cut
because
it
I
down.
saw a thing on Twitter the other day that was pretty similar, just unrelated, where a guy was fuck, it was like a fire hose or something. It wasn't that. That's also on Jackass. I saw something. Anyway,
Fire Hose
That
Rodeo.
looks
Yeah.
fun.
But the thing where they
Apart from all that,
Oh my God,
the
when he
ass
slams
bleeding.
Apart
down.
from the ass bleeding,
That's
but
right.
like that should be a ride.
The video I saw
Yeah.
was someone up one of those giant ass pine trees that like starts sturdy and gets thinner and thinner. They're at the top, so it's the pine tree. I don't know if it's a pine tree. This huge tree is arched almost on a 90-degree angle because there's a guy at the top weighing it down. Then he cuts off the very end where the big leaves and shit are, and it recoils and he starts springing around and flying around, holding on to the top of the tree.
Oh my God.
So I was trying to separate if that was Jack. I saw that on Twitter. But the one where he was in the snow and the dudes, since they cut the tree and the tree snaps and he's flying and all that, that shit rocked, I thought. I thought
Yeah.
that was sick.
I think the thing that cuts
Snow
the
makes me feel
heart of
better.
it that we all
Yes.
seem to be agreeing
Nice
on is
soft
like
landing.
the best Jackass stunts are the ones where the only people that get harmed are them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
I
like-
did like
not the
old man
public,
one.
I don't
not
like the
animal
public
stuff.
ones.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it when he had the kid when he was dressed as the old man, but none of the other kid shit.
The kid
That very
one
old man
I
shit.
hated the first time, and this time just because of how much of a buffoon that guy made himself.
Yeah, that guy
out
is
to
an
be.
idiot. But he's going to beat up an old man?
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
fuck's
yeah.
he gonna do?
Yeah, I think we agree. There's a and also I feel like there's something to be said for how much Jackass has affected like influencer prank and
Yes.
culture and shit. You
Oh
know,
man.
which is very very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
watching
then
that-
where it's like, I'm
watching
going to do
that-
a prank on my girlfriend, and then he just like pushes it
Well, like you
downstairs.
fucking.
Yeah.
What- Do you remember that Jamie Zoo guy who's huge on Instagram? He's like an Australian guy, and he's like his fucking stuff is just like, yeah, I touch people on like trains and shit, and like
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing this and I'm touching their legs. But he also has like way more kind of like insidious ones. He once went to Mug and Kettle, like,
Yeah.
where
Oh,
they-
yeah.
and he bombed, and he did not know why. Like he
Of
just,
course.
he was just like, yeah, I'm a fucking star. Why isn't everyone treating me accordingly?
Yeah.
And now that
Well,
was
they
a
didn't
lot.
know Andrew Hastings was in the building.
Yeah. They were all up in the line for Hastings.
Yeah, they were all waiting in the stairwell, being like, I think Hastings is coming on.
I think he's gonna get up.
What's he
Oh my
gonna
God,
do?
is Hastings gonna drop in?
Yeah, I might be dropping. Might be dropping into.
drop in. Yeah, I think so.
Drop
His
into the
name's
open
on the sheet.
Is
Dropping into
Hastings-
the open mic I've done the 9 weeks previous. I
Is Hastings going to drop in the place he's been hanging out for 5 hours?
got there early after work. I wanted to have beers with Chris Keary.
Oh God.
What are there any particular sketches that you would like to participate in?
Oh, man.
There are so few that seem genuinely fun, but some of them do seem very fun. You're right.
Like, I think if
When you say participate, do you mean like the thing has to happen? Because I'd love to be at like the
Yeah.
rodeo thing watching, laughing as
I'll
someone
hold the
gets
fishing
fucked
rod
up.
while Steve-O's in the water.
I mean, do the thing. 'Cause
Helicopter.
I reckon the fire
Helicopter
thing,
would be
if I
fun.
knew that I was like, if there was like, if they put a cushioning below it, so
Which
I
they
wouldn't
wouldn't.
break
Yeah,
my arm.
Yeah.
okay, you're really changing the conceit.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
If they put cushion
Yeah, no, if I was Butterbean in the
Yeah.
Butterbean fight, I would love to be
I
Butterbean
would
and kick
join-
the shit out of
I
someone.
would
Just
join
that,
the
that
army
looks so fun.
if
Yeah.
there were no guns.
Yeah.
I would join-
I'd shit on the toy house. Like, that's funny. to me.
I
Yeah.
think that is funny. I
Yeah.
think that would give me a big laugh.
I cop the
I like
hand.
that-
The hand would be fine.
Anything where they get launched into water, I think looks so much fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that does seem cool. I'd even maybe even vouch like if you were talking about like getting slightly hurt, I'd maybe even do the duck hunt one where you get hit with the paintballs while fucking soaring through the air. Like at
Yeah.
least there'd be like kind
Yeah.
of a thrill to
I
that.
think I'm more scared of heights than I am pain. Like mild pain, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like if it's relatively injury free, I'd probably rather get shot with a paintball gun than get launched harmlessly into water.
Would you
Like-
drink the horse cum to get out of a stunt later?
Ooh, depends. Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I'm
I
pretty
would
rank,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point. I don't know, though. I feel like I'd probably do the stunt, actually,
It's
now that I've
just
said it,
fun.
because...
grow up.
Yeah, but I don't want that out there, you know? I don't... There's a certain...
knowing you've drunk horse cum.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
also
I mean, for you, that would be burying the lead on your...
But I
the
think
rest of your
anyone
life.
who
keep a
does
lid
that,
on the
that's
horse
the
cum.
first thing.
Also-
It'd be like Tom Walker drank
Yeah.
horse cum.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
You've become the guy who fucks goats in that one joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also in 2, Dave England eats horse shit.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it's prefaced
That's
by
true, I
like
forgot about
and
that
it's prefaced by like one of the funniest like quick cuts where Steve-O jumps on the rake and smashes himself
That's
in the
great.
head.
That's so,
So
funny.
good.
God, that would hurt.
Aren't 3-6 Mafia there
Yeah,
for
it
that?
is.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of- that was one of the things that makes you go like, what? In,
Which I think is just because at one point they play Slob on My Knob.
But they 3-6 Mafia have won an Oscar.
Yeah,
right?
that's wild.
Yeah.
That Hustle and Flow song.
Yeah.
Was it
Hard
that?
Out Here for a Pimp, I believe.
rules.
Who's the funniest Oscar winner? Not like funniest person, but like funniest example.
I mean, that's pretty up there, probably.
Eminem.
Has
They literally
Eminem
have a
did
song
Eminem
called
win?
Slob on-
Oh yeah,
Yourself.
he did
Yeah.
win.
Slob on my knob.
Like corn on the cob.
Did Venom win an Oscar? The Eminem song?
It absolutely
Probably
should have.
Should have, right?
I mean,
4D.
Not only is it an
Oscar,
Oscar,
Academy pretty hard.
Not only is it an Oscar-winning song, it's probably Eminem's best song.
Oh, it's so good. Eminem. It's such a perfect song. It's actually about Venom. It's about being Venom.
What?
Yeah. There's going to be a hidden double meaning there where it's both a word, but it's also the title and the character.
You're saying Adrenaline Momentum has a double meaning?
It's so good. One of the worst deliveries of all time, and he just keeps getting away with it.
I like that the implication in the music video is that Eminem is Venom, but the way he does it is through his music. Like they listen to the music and they become. That's such a cool.
So
thing,
Slim Shady is kind of the Venom to his.
There's
Rock.
Eminem.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
isn't the line from the
Venom.
song is I'm Eddie Brock and you're the suit? Or
Yeah,
you're Eddie Brock and
That's
I'm the suit?
that's the closing
Yeah.
line, I believe,
Yeah, dude.
of the best song of all time.
Yeah, it's really cool to just say something that doesn't quite make sense about,
It's kind of closer to car noises.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. Jackass was pretty tight. I thought I'm not as big a Jackass fan as you guys. I do have to. I didn't grow up on it in the same way you guys. I did. I just dabbled, and I don't get the colder personality thing you guys do. Like I'm sure if I spent more time with these characters, but to me it's just like it's a bunch of dudes hurting themselves, and some of that's very funny. But aside from the top guys, I don't really distinguish between them. I don't think they're really. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out.
Yeah, it's probably because you were bullied.
I think I wouldn't.
Well, you weren't.
It's not important to distinguish between them for me. Like, I mean, I definitely, when I first saw it, did not know the names of anyone except Johnny Knoxville, Bam, and Wee Man.
Yeah.
And Wee Man, it's easy to remember his name. But then, like, Ryan Dunn and Chris Pontius, I feel like are the next two that you learn the names of. And then you're like, oh, okay, I understand this weird supporting cast. Dave England is the guy who shits on things for some reason.
Yeah.
For some reason, like a post that they have.
Yeah. Something no one else can do.
No.
Shit.
I would say that I was kind of different with that because I remember how I got into Jackass. It was 2001 maybe. I was in Cairns on holiday. I'd never seen it. I'd heard about it like on the internet, and I had an FHM magazine, For Him magazine, and it had the 100 best Jackass stunts, and I'd never seen it, and I was reading them being like, this fucking rules.
God damn.
And I was like, I've got to investigate the show, and because it was like one of those things that had just come out, I was like, all right, well, I've got to be obsessed with it now. So I was like the person being like, actually, if you like Jackass, like CKY have like a few videos out. Like, have you seen CKY 2K? And like, there's also like CKY Volume 2 has the prank calls by Brandon D. Camillo. They're actually really funny too.
I had a couple
people like
of
shut up.
I think I had 4 of the CKY DVDs.
That's the complete collection, dude. I
There
had
you
it
go.
too.
96
and I
White
had
Bitter.
Haggard as well, which was
Haggard
so
sucks.
bad.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
you-
Haggard?
It's a movie.
It's the
like
movie
a
that Bam
film,
wrote.
like, written by Bam Margera. So
Oh, no.
yeah, no good.
It's
Have
a
you
straight
seen the
comedy movie.
jewelry that Bam's made?
Yes, I've
He
seen
now
some of it.
3D
Shots,
prints
yeah.
jewelry, and that's kind of the
baby.
main thing he's been doing for a past. And also like having public meltdowns
Yeah.
on Instagram, and they're trying to keep
Comedy
him sober
tours
now.
and-
Oh, no.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit.
He's not doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
But-
much so.
The comedy tour stuff is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like him on Instagram, just going crazy every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Bam was so that's kind of how I got into Jackass. Is I was kind of like aware of it. I'd seen the first one, but like all the emo girls were really into Viva La Bam and Bam, so
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Viva La Bam, and I got it. Like Bam's I'm more familiar with Viva La Bam than I am Jackass.
Yeah.
One of the worst, I think maybe one of the worst Jackass pranks, but also to me, one of the funniest just for the fact that it somehow made the cut is just when Bam bursts in on his dad and just beats the shit out of him on the toilet.
Yeah,
Because it's like, what, like this,
Yeah.
like, please tell me you were trying to make up
What
for
is it? Yeah.
time.
That
Like
one
you
is
were,
so ridiculous. They parodied it on fucking Family Guy.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like there's not even an added joke. They just
No,
do it.
it's just, he
They
bursts
just do
in, like, tears his fat dad's shirt off and then
Yeah.
just beats the shit out of him. It's like, what?
Man,
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
man.
But it is funny. Like, 'cause the
Yeah.
setup of him delicately placing the camera, and
then
then be
doing
like,
the
and then
devil horns
placing
into
on,
the camera.
yeah, and then be like, oh, Bam's up to something. Oh God, Bam, just assaulting his dad.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
what
the-
I mean. Like any, I think that I would suspect that they have a really horrific dynamic in their family.
I had a
Bam
real-
doesn't come. Bam's not created in a vacuum. You
No.
know?
I had a real good laugh at like the idea that there is a genuine guerrilla attack going on, and he still is just like, I need to take a shit with the door open. It's so revolting. You can hear him shitting, and Bam's standing there watching him like, what are you doing?
I do very much get the impression that Phil specifically is kind of playing up his role a bit more in this than me. I think it's a bit,
goofy dad.
but he's being more. He's like more organic in Viva La Bam, where he's actually. Whereas a lot of this, he's like, I'm going to do something really dumb because I know it'll be. Like, I think he took that shit because he knew it would be funny.
Does Bam develop like a weird vocal affect over the course of the movies? Because like it seems like at the start he sounds
like
normal, and then he kind of is like,
you know, he kind of talks more in the back of his mouth.
Yeah. But he doesn't. He doesn't always sound like that.
But he has the worst accent
drunk,
of all.
like-
In the first movie, just saying he was like, "You were hauling so much ass." It's like, ugh.
Where does Bam live?
Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's like northeast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, accents are a bit weird up there, right?
It's because it's kind of near Baltimore. That's why he sounds like he's
Yeah.
But he does get a voice that's more put on as the series goes. I reckon.
Yeah.
trying to
I
affect
just want him
that
to
cool
be
guy.
okay.
Yeah, he was obsessed with Villivalo for a while. That was fun when they kind of had joint custody of the heartogram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever?
Ironically, now I own it.
Hey, congrats, dude!
Have you?
That's where you put like your nest egg.
I own the autograph.
Hastings was a millionaire, and then he bought the heartogram.
Like, if you had a heartogram tattoo, I'd be like, of course you do.
It's like I'm not ruling out getting one.
Yeah,
Have you seen? It's on SBS
I've-
on demand. The
I've got a few
epically
different
lated
tattoos.
with Bam Margera.
Is that the doco?
Yeah, it's like a doco about skating, and Bam's in it, and it's like kind of when he's struggling with alcohol. And one of like the most interesting things it reveals is like that Bam didn't really drink until he met Villivalo
Yeah, I've heard that.
from him, and so like he would just be like a normal guy who'd like have beers, and then he'd be like, and then I met Villivalo. I became kind of obsessed with this rock star, and like this is a guy who'd like fucking like crack the vodka out for breakfast, and he was kind of like, yeah, I'll do that too, and then it just completely fucked his life up.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't be drinking in the morning unless it's schoolies week. Then it's allowed.
Well, it's quite sad that epically
It's
later
always
because,
Schoolie's
like,
week somewhere.
Yeah. Because
I want to be a guy who, like, I like the idea.
you
that if
are that guy.
yeah, no, but like, just it would like, I think there's an alternate reality Hastings where I went up for schoolies.
No, it's you. It's just you.
I went up for schoolies in 2008 and just never moved back. I just lived
Yeah,
up on the
yeah,
Gold
yeah.
Coast. Lived out the rest of my days up there.
Yeah, you could become like the Jimmy Buffett of schoolies.
Absolutely.
Oh, I would love that for you.
Me and Charlie were talking about doing a schoolies trip. Just go see his family.
You're genuinely going to do a Toolies.
Yeah, well, because he's from there. Like he's like
School,
yeah.
Schoolies got cancelled.
Yeah, I was listening to your other podcast today.
Yeah, it's done for the year. You can't do it.
Schoolies.
Yeah, Schoolies officially got cancelled.
Because there's nothing they can't take from us.
I know.
Now they've gone too far. A 40-year-old man like throwing his glass on the floor. Fuck this.
It's the only thing that turns Hastings into a COVID denier.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we
Got
need
very
these
little
pussy
going on in my life,
masks?
but
Yeah.
once a year for a few weeks, a whole bunch of 18-year-old girls come up here.
Yeah, they flock in.
Oh man.
And I look at them and they don't want a bar of me, but
No, but they can't stop me looking.
With the heartogram
Just a cheeky look.
thing with Billy Vallow and Bam Margera. Do you know that like the Misfits? Like they've had like Glenn Danzig has sued the rest of the Misfits multiple times, and it's like mostly
that's
just
so punk.
yeah.
Glenn Danzig is the spookiest man alive. Yeah.
But it's mostly over. It's not even over the music. It's over just the logo.
Yeah.
because that's all. It's what's on the T-shirts. Where all the money comes from. So there's like
The Misfits
multiple
logo
lawsuits.
is definitely more successful than Misfits the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the band. Like I'm not trying to shit on
Really?
Misfits. Fuck off. But yeah, it is like I really want to. Like, I'm kind of mad. You can't wear Misfits merch.
You have a Misfits shirt, don't you?
Yeah.
No.
I
Really?
swear to
No.
God, I have seen you wear a
I've made a
Misfits
point
shirt.
to not buy one because I want one and I can't because it's like.
We
too-
should get you one.
I also
What?
don't have a Ramones one. I don't
Why
have a-
can't you wear one?
Because it would be like it's like. Such
But you're
a
so aware of
cliche
who
and
you
it's
are.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
isn't
it's too
your-
weird. That's too far. I think.
Isn't your thing like? Look, I wear Metallica shirts. That's a bit of a cliche.
Yeah,
thing.
Misfits is a step above.
I'm wearing an
Like,
Andrew
I'd
Hastings
wear-
shirt
But
right
I'm
now.
like saving the fact is like, yeah, I genuinely love Metallica.
You're also
but-
a trans woman. Like, it's a different aesthetic. Like, people are like, oh, of course that guy's wearing a fucking Misfits shirt. Like,
Just
that's
had the idea of Rose being like, what?
like it's
This is how she finds out.
the context of that piece of clothing within the outfit is very different. Like for me, it'd be like, oh, of course that fucking loser's wearing a fucking Misfits shirt.
I mean, we feel that way about you.
Yeah.
We feel that way about you no matter what shirt there is.
You're wearing a shirt that says "The Man's Man" on it right now. Like you don't.
It's called Seth. Actually, yeah, it's for Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah.
think people will be like, "Oh, that's cooler than a Misfits."
Yeah,
like,
you know that when people look at you, they think you're wearing a shirt that's trying to label you as the man's man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Can I-
100% what it looks
can I-
like.
Like you might as well be wearing one that says like "The Man and the Legend."
That's what I was
Yes.
going to say.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So I only wear this shirt in the context I brought today.
Hastings has one of those, but it's the man, the short story. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, we're all having fun.
Oh, yeah.
We're all having fun.
I wore this shirt under my shirt to work today, and I'm only wearing it to the podcast.
All right, old
It's not
two-shirt Hastings over
it's
here.
not a wear-
That money's coming in, huh? Ooh.
So I know not to wear this shirt outdoors. This is a under my work shirt.
Oh, that's so funny.
My friend Jack got it for me as like an irony gift.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah, the irony gift. Still takes up space in the old wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
we
mean,
should.
at some point, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, "Is this the irony mirror? My irony
Yeah,
cupboard is this?" you
yeah,
know?
Let's order Hastings a Misfits shirt. I think
Yeah,
you
we
could
can
truly
Don't wear it.
thrive.
Don't-
He will wear it.
Yeah, he will wear
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
don't. Get me a Michael Graves era Misfits shirt. That'll be cool.
Don't do it. Get this one specifically.
I don't. Michael Graves is the Nazi one. Don't do that.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the singers from Misfits don't have to be a Nazi.
Oh. In many ways, the spookiest monster of all. Man.
No one should ever make fun of the Misfits. They're so cool. I think there's no irony to how cool the Misfits are. They're the coolest band.
They're pretty funny.
They're
I
not
think
funny.
they are
They're very
funny.
serious.
No, it's funny to be like
Spooky.
Yeah, to love spooky stuff,
Yeah.
but also
I'm-
be like, I'm scary.
It's funny
I'm
to have a
scary and right-
spooky band.
Yeah.
It's like we're a band that is actually scary, but we also sing songs about Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's probably where we can end it. Tom, thanks for coming on, man. Do you have anything you want to plug?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know,
Trucks.
twitch.tv/Tom Walker is good. I drive a truck around on there.
One of the most gloriously indecipherable things I've ever seen.
It's a hell of a thing. It is really...
To watch you get frazzled and put on a wig and just start yelling within 5 minutes and being like, what the fuck is going
baffling-
on? Is
yeah.
You did a little compilation video with a Pet Shop Boys song over the top of it, and I have not been able to stop listening to it.
It's
since.
such a good song.
It's so good.
Yeah, that was in memory of the truck that got repossessed because we got too much in debt and the bank took my truck, which is something that can happen in the game. Turns out,
Damn.
they can just fucking take your truck.
Hell yeah.
Real bleak shit. Oh yeah,
I was doing a run of NBA 2K, but I never played the game before. And there's a thing where like as you get better, you get more minutes of court time. Like you play as one guy. So at the start, you're getting like 5 minutes of a 20-minute game or whatever, which is like actually a better way to play it. But I'm not good at the game, so my coach kept putting me down. I was playing the campaign mode of NBA 2K, and I'm playing like a minute 30 a game.
you weren't playing well enough, so the game was like, you don't get to.
You
play
don't even
this.
get to play
Oh,
the game
man.
you paid $80 for.
Whoa,
That's pretty blatant.
brutal.
Yeah, Nat Domina showed me a few tips, and I worked out how to play the game better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Now you're getting buckets.
No, I don't play.
Hastings getting cancelled for immediately reaching out to Nat Domina for an NBA 2K
Hey,
advice.
Hey, man, you seem like you'd be... Hey, brother!
immediately flubbing like a 5-step handshake he's memorized off the internet.
Nat's just like, Hastings, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, obviously, don't touch me.
Listeners, just in case you haven't put the two together, Nat Demeter is black.
You can just Google him.
He was in the photo that we posted for last week's episode because we ran into him on the street.
Just Google
Hey.
him. Everyone's on Google now.
Everyone's on Google.
Just Google what they look like.
All right. See you. Thank you for having me to talk about this. I'm going to go home and rewatch Jackass.
Oh, man.
2 and
that's so
3
good.
again.
Well, they just re-put them on.
Do we want to
Netflix
plug
and all that.
anything?
Yeah.
Opera House?
Yeah,
No, I'm doing gigs, but just I'm around.
Cool.
I got another podcast called Community Notice Board. Listen to it. It's cool.
Yeah, Rosales Piper on Twitter and Instagram. My set from the Opera House is up on their YouTube channel. You also get 15 minutes of Beck Charlwood, which is no bad thing.
Ooh.
So watch that, please.
All right. Shall we do it to the next step?
To the next step.
To the next step.
I'm Andrew Hastings. This is Getting Whipped at Bondi Bowling Club.
Good stuff.